was just like going about my day. I was scrolling on YouTube, ignoring my like wannabe author responsibilities, and then I came across this tag and I just had to do it. This is the writers not writing tag. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the writers not writing tag. I was ignoring the fact that I have a book that I want to release in September, and going through YouTube, and this tag came up over at Nicole's Bookish Nook. It's a relatively new channel to me, but it's just a lot of tags, and I quite enjoy them, and I was like, well, I've got to stop whatever I'm not doing and go ahead and do that one. So I'm just going to jump in and yeah, give it a go. There's only 10 prompts here. I'm not going to tag anyone at the end, but no one's tagged me in this. I just thought it was fun and timely because of when it came up whilst I was going about my day. I believe the original creator of this one is the Scribes of Sci Fantasy, and I'll have that one down below as well if you want to go ahead and do this. If you're a budding author or writer who avoids doing that, then by all means, please go ahead. So there are 10 prompts in this one. We are just going to jump straight in. Prompt number 1 is, do you have a day job? I do. I work full-time in imports, customs. I'm in leadership in that particular role, so my agents really deal with a lot of the things that are coming in to customs, but at the moment I have 9 people. I did have 21, and I've since had another supervisor come in, and we share the team, and yeah, we look after it. So I guess people leadership, but what our group does at its core is to look at manifests that are coming into the country and report them to Australian Border Force or TGA or Redline, whatever governing body that it needs to go through these manifests as they come in off the planes, and then we clear them or we hold them for different reasons. So I don't know, my day job is relatively boring when you talk about it like that, but I really enjoy the people management aspect. I know a lot of authors like have a dream of being a full-time author. I'm not one of those. I don't think I could or I would be effective as an author or just a person if I wasn't working at least, I would say, a 75% job, but full-time. I like having it as a hobby. Anyway, that was a really long-winded answer to question number 1. We've got off on a good foot. Question number 2, are you a reader? Yeah. Yes, I do read a lot. I read, and I think people already know this who've been around for a little while, but I beta read and I alpha read. So a lot of my reading time is actually taken up with trying to help authors with the progress of their novels as well. So probably since the beginning of this year, so it's currently the 28th of April at the time of filming, I have had between 3 to 5 projects on the go in any given month, between alpha, beta reading, or even just sometimes critique partnering. I've done 2 sensitivity reads this year, but helping authors get their projects out is where a lot of my reading time is focused. But I also just read because I have a booktube channel, and you'll see like there's plenty of books behind me. I have no shortage of reading material. So yes, I do that, but the types of reading that I do can vary. What are your other hobbies? Now, I would say that 80% of my hobbies do focus around books, like whether that's alpha, beta reading, whether that's reading for fun, whether that's doing audiobooks. I do like going to the gym. I don't go to the gym to look any particular way. It is just a focus time for me. So it is the hour of the day. So walking the dogs, going to the gym, and driving to and from, or if I'm doing a home workout, it is between an hour to an hour and a half, 4 to 5 days a week, and then the other days I'll just do dog walking. That's my time. And I notice it when I don't have that time. So I guess that's also a hobby because it's not for any particular goal. It's purely for mental clarity, and I enjoy doing it. I'm also a podcast with my friend Ryan, which is called Genre Blender. That's always linked down below if you want to go ahead and check that out. So we do that, and we talk about storytelling in multiple different formats, whether it be film, TV, gaming, music. I would like to branch into music a little bit, and also books. So we sort of cover storytelling from multiple different angles. So that happens every fortnight, and we sort of, I guess, chat for about 2 hours, 1 hour on camera, and then 2 hours we just sort of have back and forth and talk about podcast things. And that is looking to potentially grow and be hopefully something more than just a podcast, like opening up that channel to different creative aspects and outlets. So we have that. I like cooking, so I do enjoy cooking for people and hosting people. I don't have a lot of other hobbies outside of that. writing is, I mean, the whole point of this tag is like we're not writing. So what are we doing when we're not writing? Gaming a little bit. I wouldn't call myself a gamer as such in that I don't spend hours and hours and hours on doing it, but usually a couple of days a week I'll sit down and I'll play something for a little bit. But yeah, most of my hobbies are really book related. It is where I spend most of my time and it's where I'm happiest. So I guess those. Number four, tea or coffee, both, depending on the time of day and the time of year. I do notice as soon as it starts to get colder, so now we are in autumn, I gravitate more towards tea. And I will drink tea multiple cups a day, not necessarily like caffeinated and black tea, but we, as a family, so my wife and I share a house with Rachel's best friend. That's my wife's best friend, Jim, and we all like have a tea when Jim is home at night, like bedtime. We all share tea. We all have different teas. There's like a whole cupboard just full of different types of tea bags. But I definitely hit up tea more in the winter. In the summer, I will definitely gravitate towards coffee. Tea is like homely and comforting and warm. Coffee is just like wake up, let's go. I also different types of coffee. Am I too pretentious? Am I too pretentious to do this fucking tag? Anyway, in the morning, I will have black coffee. It's a wake up, it's there for a purpose. If I want a coffee in the afternoon, I will tend to have milk in it because it's like a little treat. I don't know why the milk in it makes it a little treat. And if I'm going out and like going for breakfast or something, if the breakfast is sweet, it must be cut with a black coffee. If the breakfast is savory, I'm more likely to have milk in the coffee because the milk is sweet. Am I just a Virgo? Do I just put rules on everything? Anyway, tea or coffee? Both. Both of those things are good. What are you passionate about? Apparently, coffee and what type of coffee I may drink in the AM versus the PM, because that is the type of human I am. But no, I am transgender. So most people, I think, know. I don't hide it. I'm pretty open about it. I'm quite passionate about being open and honest for the transgender community, and also for people who don't necessarily know, because I what's called pass in society, where people don't tend to clock me as anything other than male. So I'm female to male transgender, and educating in a respectful way on that particular front, because now people sort of meet me, get to know me, and they just think I'm a cis dude because they don't know any different. And I think 90% of the time, like, yes, we're in the media right now, but 90% of the time, people don't give a shit. Like, they just don't. They just want, they're living their lives. They want you live your life, and it's fine. I'm quite passionate at being as authentic as I can be about that, and being willing to have an uncomfortable conversation if people are like saying, talking crap about trans people or the LGBTQIA plus community, and sometimes even women, and they don't realize they're doing it. And I'll say, hey, I was born one, so maybe you, like, let's dial that back and think about some of the social repercussions of what we're talking about. So passionate about, I guess, living my authentic life, and that comes across, I hope, on camera as well. What you see here is what you get. It's why I mean, the last couple of vlogs haven't been overly positive, because I'm not here to put on a show for anyone. This, I am who I am, and I don't want to put on a persona for the camera. I think to a certain extent, all content creators do. We have to protect ourselves in that way, but as much as I can, I try not to, and give you the most authentic version of myself. So I'm passionate about that. People, like looking after people, my love language, for example, is acts of service. So the people in my life will know that when I'm thinking about them, I tend to do things for them. But in terms of, I guess, like passion, people, making sure I'm respecting people and being authentic, passionate about books, but like I sort of wanted to gravitate away from that, because hopefully that's already come across in the fact that I have a booktube channel and talking about reading and helping people with storytelling. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have two. So my dog, Rachel, and I own Ariana, which you've seen in many a vlog. I'll put a photo, I'll find a photo, put up here. She's adorable. And we have Valerie. So Valerie is Jim's dog. Jim works FIFO, which is fly in, fly out. They are over in the mines for like 2 weeks of the month. So we take on Valerie 2 weeks of the month, and we all live together. So it's fine. Valerie just follows us around now. And I'll put her up here too. She's a big dairy cow, and she's delightful, very sassy. I don't think I've met a sassier dog in my life. I thought Ariana had attitude, but she's just me in dog form. Valerie is sassy. 7. What was your dream job? 7. What was your dream job as a kid? Probably Pokemon trainer, but if we're talking a little bit more serious, I have always wanted to write, Not necessarily write novels though. Like I feel like that's such a cheat answer. Writers not writing. What do we want to do? Fucking write. I wanted to write in the writer's room of a TV show, like a long running TV show, and develop stories and nuance to things. So people would probably hate me if I ended up doing that because of how much like hate producers of shows get and like writers get of long running like fantasy series. We're seeing it with Will of Time now. But I sort of love the idea of working with a team collaboratively to bring stories to a screen and to bring those stories to life. And I've always loved the idea of storytelling in some form of media, and over time, that sort of eventuated to be an author. And being an author is something I've thought about for a very, very long time. But I think if I was going dream job, I would like to be working collaboratively in a writing room with a bunch of people trying to get stories out into the world. And yeah, I think, is it still a dream job? Potentially. I mean, I'd love it, but do I have the means of doing it? I don't know. I read like a screenwriting like book for dummies, and I thought that was neat. And I did drama a lot, but I didn't want to be on the stage. I wanted to be like behind it. Yeah, I thought it'd be cool. Number 8. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? This is super cliche. It would just be where Rachel is. It doesn't matter to me. I am a homebody. I don't have a travel bug. I have mentioned that on this channel before. I don't see myself living anywhere in particular. I don't care where I'm living. If I'm with the person that I love the most and my best friend, then that is home to me. Home is a person, it is not a building. And anywhere that I go where I have friends that I love, that's home to me. So I don't really care where I live. That's a bit of a cheap shot and a cliche answer, but I really just, I love Perth. I enjoy living in Perth. It's beautiful. It's hot a lot of the time. Um, the sunshine. I live near the beach. Like I can't complain. But if Rachel told me that she couldn't live here anymore, she wanted to go home to the UK, I'd be like, okay, cool. We'll go home to the UK where it rains. I will say that I don't love winter and I don't love rain. I wouldn't say I get seasonal depression or anything, but I definitely feel it. Like the more, like, I just don't like it. If it's raining for like 2 weeks, I will get very cranky. So somewhere sunny. Sorry, Rachel, who loves the rain. Number 9, do you speak any other languages? I don't. I used to speak conversational Mandarin. I can probably pick up Mandarin if people are. So if I like walking in an area that's quite heavily populated with Chinese people and they're having a conversation, I can pick up audibly bits and pieces of what they're saying. I learnt Mandarin for 8 years from grade, I want to say 5 or 6, all the way through high school and then the first year of university. So I learnt it for quite a long time. I can still write some of the characters and know what they mean. I can still speak a little bit of it, but I wouldn't say it's conversational anymore. But it's normally audible. So like when I hear it, I get the gist of what people are saying if they're speaking in Mandarin around me. But in terms of speaking it, no, I sort of let it go. And like I feel like many people who learn a second language kick themselves for not keeping it up. And I do kick myself for not keeping it up. Not enough to like start learning it again, though. So there's that. And the last question we have is what music. The last question we have is what music would we find in your collection? I feel like I have such an eclectic mix, and I feel like everyone says that. I think if you were going to say what is the most listened to genre, it would probably be pop punk slash progressive metal, and I'm talking progressive metal where there's no lyrics, like it's just instrumental. Orchestral metal as well, where it's just instrumental. It's not there's no vocals to it. I would say those two. Other than that, instrumental of any kind. I tend to listen to or get inspiration from music. Yeah, like I listen to a little bit of pop. I listen to a little bit of hip hop. Yeah, hip hop. I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of Dua Lipa and MGK on my Spotify and like Daughtry. I would probably gravitate towards pop punk as like my most listened to genre. But pick anything. I'll listen to anything that isn't country, unless MGK is singing it, and then I will listen to it. He's been in my top listen to for the last 3 years, and it's embarrassing at this point. Anyway, that was the writers not writing tag. What do you think of this one? What do you do to avoid any hobby that you enjoy doing and you want to do. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next one. Ciao.